Ilia Topuria's story is not just about fighting inside the cage. It is also about wealth, ambition, and the kind of discipline that turns a young man into one of the richest athletes in Spain. When people look at him today, they see the UFC's undefeated rising star.
To take on the #1 guy, not just for the world title, which he wanted to be. He's got to take out the #1 pound-for-pound fighter ever.
The man who knocked out champions and carried the pride of both Georgia and Spain.
First man in the world to knock out a legend in Max Holloway, one of the best 45-pound fighters that's ever walked the earth.
But behind the bright lights of the octagon, there is another story, how Ilia built a life that most fighters can only dream of, with a fortune that includes luxury cars, high-end properties, and even a private gym inside his home said to be worth more than $2 million. The question is simple: how did Ilia Topuria get so rich even before becoming a UFC champion? To answer that, we need to go back to the beginning. Ilia was born in Germany in 1997 to Georgian parents, but his family moved back to Georgia when he was still young. It was there that he first discovered martial arts. Later, he and his family moved again, this time to Spain, where he found his true home and identity. Growing up, Ilia did not have an easy life. Like many fighters, he came from a modest background. But what made him different was the determination to use every opportunity that came his way, not just in fighting but also in business. By the time Ilia entered the UFC, he already had something most fighters never had: financial stability. Many UFC fighters struggle with money in the early years, taking small fights just to pay the bills. But Ilia was different. He had a strong management team around him, and he treated his career not only as a sport but as a business. From sponsorships, brand partnerships, and investments, Ilia was building wealth step by step. One of the main reasons for his success in Spain is that he is not just an athlete, he is a national figure. Spain has always celebrated football stars like Sergio Ramos or Rafael Nadal in tennis. But when it comes to combat sports, Ilia Topuria is unique.
Here, let me show you this. This is guy Ilia Topuria, and Ilia Topuria is one of the absolute best fighters in the world.
He became the face of MMA in Spain, the fighter who carried the flag on his back. With that position came opportunities, sponsorship deals, media appearances, and endorsements that poured money into his bank account. Spanish brands saw in him a chance to connect with a young audience, and Ilia understood that being a public figure is as important as being a good fighter. And then there is the gym. Today, Ilia has his own state-of-the-art training facility inside his home, worth over $2 million.
Topuria has a $2 million gym in his house, which has a helipad on the top of the apartment complex. I asked him, I go, how do you have so much money? You haven't even defended the belt.
What's his answer?
He smiles, right? He smiles. And he starts to speak to you in that voice. You know, DC. And I'm like, no, I don't know. That's why I'm asking you.
This is not just a place to train, it is a statement of his success. Most fighters have to travel to different gyms, pay for coaches, and share equipment. Ilia trains in a space designed exactly for his needs, with the best equipment money can buy. It is the kind of gym that shows he is not only thinking about today but also about the future. That gym represents freedom. Freedom to train on his own schedule, freedom to control his environment, and freedom to stay at the top without depending on anyone else. But how does a fighter afford something like this before even winning a UFC belt? The answer lies in smart financial planning and a mix of businesses that Ilia has connected himself with. First, sponsorship deals. Companies are willing to pay big money to be associated with him, especially in Spain where he is one of the few global sports stars. From clothing brands to nutrition companies, Ilia has built a network of sponsorships that go far beyond fight night paychecks. Second, Ilia has invested in real estate. Reports suggest that he owns properties in Spain, and like many athletes, he understands that property is one of the safest ways to grow wealth. Instead of wasting money on temporary luxuries, he placed it in assets that will only increase in value over time. Third, Ilia has also been linked to business partnerships, particularly in gyms and fitness. His brand, El Matador, is not just a nickname, it is a business identity. He has built himself as a brand that fans can connect with, and that has opened doors for merchandise, clothing lines, and future opportunities. Another major factor is that UFC fighters, especially undefeated ones like Ilia, can negotiate better contracts. With every win, his value in the market increases. By the time he reached the top of the featherweight division, he was already making six-figure fight purses, and that money combined with bonuses, sponsorships, and pay-per-view points made him a millionaire. Lifestyle also plays a part in showing his wealth. Ilia is known for living well, but not carelessly. He owns luxury cars, high-end watches, and travels in style, but he balances it with a disciplined fighter's mindset. Unlike some athletes who lose money on unnecessary spending, Ilia appears to be strategic. He shows the lifestyle but also invests in the foundation that keeps his wealth growing. It is also important to understand Spain's role in this story. Spain did not have a UFC champion before Ilia Topuria. When he began rising, the Spanish media embraced him fully. He was on magazine covers, in TV shows, and featured as a national hero. This level of attention created new opportunities that most fighters never see. For example, being a sports icon in Spain gave him access to elite investors and sponsors who wanted to be part of his journey. Ilia Topuria's story is a mix of talent, timing, and smart decisions.
Many people need to see to believe. I believe, and then I see it.
He was talented enough to win every fight, charismatic enough to attract sponsors, and smart enough to invest his money properly.
Everything is so sharp. His technique is flawless. Everything's flawless. His boxing is so dangerous. He's so dangerous everywhere.
This is why today he is not just a UFC star, he is one of the richest athletes in Spain. And the most surprising part is that he achieved all of this before even becoming a UFC champion. When we talk about Ilia's wealth, it is easy to just focus on the numbers, the $2 million gym, the luxury lifestyle, the cars, and the properties. But the truth is that his financial success is built on the same foundation as his fighting career: discipline, planning, and refusing to waste opportunities. He trains like a champion, and he handles his money like one too. As he continues to rise in the UFC, the question is not whether Ilia Topuria will become richer, it is how far he can take it. Will he become the face of global MMA, with international deals and sponsorships that reach beyond Spain? Will his brand El Matador grow into a business empire? Or will he keep his focus on fighting while quietly building his fortune behind the scenes? One thing is certain: Ilia Topuria has already changed what it means to be a fighter in Spain. He is proof that with the right mix of talent, hard work, and smart business moves, an athlete can become a millionaire long before reaching the peak of their sport. And that is why when people look at Ilia today, they do not just see a fighter. They see a symbol of success, someone who turned fighting into fortune, and someone who represents a new generation of athletes who are as sharp in business as they are in the cage. Let us know on the comments your thoughts about it.